Hey everyone, Paul with Blackwater Honey Forge. Today's Saturday, June, 16th? Does that sound correct? This video, I'm going to be showing you something really cool that happened yesterday when a buddy was out here walking around the apiary with me. I saw a hive cast a swarm, and it was a very troublesome swarm to get hived, but I did eventually get that hived. So check that out here at the remainder of this video. And then also I'm going to be doing some stuff in here today as far as adding some more brood chambers, checking on some splits, checking on some walkaway splits. So come and hang out. Let's see what's going on.
This is Blackwater Honey Forge, named in part after the Blackwater River we live near in central New Hampshire, and in part after the master craftsmanship of honeybees. This is a place for learning, discussion, and to practice the art of beekeeping. Welcome to the journey. Be well and forge on.
So something pretty neat just happened while a buddy of mine and I were just right here looking over my apiary, and right here in hive number 1 there was some strange bearding happening. They were bearded just kind of like they are right now. I know I'm pretty far away, but they're bearded just like they are right now. And then all of a sudden there was more than bearding. There was quite a lot of bee activity. Uh-oh. Let me show you. Well, that bearding activity, that ended up being a swarm that we were witnessing happening right in front of our face. So that's pretty cool. No idea where the queen is in this mess, but I'm gonna have to get an easy nuke underneath them, or a pro nuke rather, and get these bees into that. Hopefully I can find the queen in the process. She should be marked. That should make it a little bit easier. And I'm very surprised that that hive swarmed, because I've been monitoring their growth. I've split from them this year, and I just gave them 2 supers. But apparently they decided this was what the best thing was to do. So now I'm going to go ahead and collect them, stick them in a different box. So I went ahead and grabbed a pro nuke. I have 5 extra frames, but I just grabbed 2 in here for now because I want to give them plenty of space to get the bees in there. I got a pair of pruning shears and a cover to cover them back up. My camera's repaired and back in, so which means my microphone is working well as well. So I know in that last video I had some audio quality issues. Hopefully those are gone now, and with my new tripod, hopefully I get no more shattered cameras. I'd love to just see the queen first thing, because this is not, they're in a 3-foot section. I can't just shake a ball of bees. So I'm going to trim a couple limbs at a time here. Oh, look out, ladies. Basically pruning the limbs down with the bees on it, and then shaking in that section of bees. And that should get me the queen. I bet she's right up in here. I got a big ball right here that I can shake into this bucket. A lot of young bees in there. I don't have them all yet. Definitely haven't seen the queen. Not totally looking for her. I guess I should be. And that's 90% of the bees in this box already. Let me get this away from here. I bet they were already pretty good. Let me show you this. Big old box full of bees. Not the biggest swarm. It's not as big as the one I caught in my swarm trap a week or two ago. But I'd rather recover them than not recover them. So I'm going to leave that right there for the moment. That way they can get situated in there. And then I'm going to get them deposited over in one of my boxes over in the apiary. And then the wife and I get to go to dinner. So I'm actually really glad that I saw this. When I saw it, it was interesting because from the apiary, there's no way for me to really explain it, but it was just obviously a big cloud of bees, but it was almost like a wall, and it kept getting closer to me and my buddy, and we kept having to back up and be like, oh, it's either a swarm or it's a congregation. Usually they don't congregate right over the hive, so it's probably a swarm, and then they'd move closer, and we had to back up more. And finally, yeah, they were buzzing all around all these trees and these bushes, and luckily they picked a spot that was 2 feet off the ground for me, so that was pretty awesome of them. So as you can see, I'm having a little bit of a dilemma. I've already collected this swarm once and deposited them into a new hive box, and many of them are coming back out to this location. That's why I put the pro nuke in the bush here, and I've recollected a lot of these bees. I guess I should really go over and inspect the frames. I'm going to leave this for now. I'm going to go over and inspect the frames on that hive box to see if I can find a queen in there. If I can find a queen in there, then I won't have to keep playing this chasing game with this swarm. Let's go see that hive. So this is the hive that I put the swarm in. Let's go ahead and open this up real quick. I don't know if this is on frame here, but the hive next to me, there's a lot of bee activity over there. That was the swarm that I caught last week. So I went to go record me putting the swarm into this box earlier, but it's like 95 degrees out today and crazy humid, and the camera that I have, like most cameras, are black, so it overheated and actually shut itself off. I couldn't record in the hot temps, which makes me wonder why don't they make the camera a different color? I bet if it was 95 degrees out and super hot, having a white camera would make a big difference. Don't know. Well, there's not a lot of bees in here, but like I said, I'm going to go through these frames that I put in and see if I can find a queen real quick. Because I'd rather not have to chase down the same swarm multiple times. A lot of these are bare foundation. A couple of them have a little bit of comb on them, so that's really where I'm going to focus on looking. And I'm already not impressed. There's definitely more bees over in that tree and back in that pro nuke, yeah, than there is in this hive. Now I did put some sugar syrup in here as well to try to lure them in, but if there's no queen in here, then they know they're in the wrong spot, so they're not going to want to stay. So I'm going to go ahead and leave this open for the moment. As a matter of fact, I'm going to leave a nice gap right in here. And I'm going to go collect that pro nuke, and I'll be back in just a moment. So here's my current problem. Bees, being bees, decided not to congregate on the inside of the pro nuke where it'd be nice and easy for me to, dump them all at once. They congregated on the outside. So I'm going to skim through here and see if the queen is in here. And there's about the same amount still over on the bush over there. Now I didn't have my full kit, so I don't have a bee brush with me or anything. But let's go ahead and see very gently if I can find the queen in this group of bees. And then, if I can, then it's just a matter of going and collecting the other ones off the tree, the bush, and getting them with the rest here. If she's not here, well, then I gotta do the same thing, but over there. I have to find the queen. Now, if I don't find her, I'm not gonna get any success here. They're gonna keep just trying to fly around and find the queen. This is gonna be a very unsuccessful swarm catch. Kind of trying to paw through a high concentration of where they're congregating the most, hoping that they're keeping the queen warm and feeding her and everything like that. Now I believe the queen out of hive 1 was marked, so if this is the old queen, she should be marked. I'm gonna have to shake them, which means most of this box I bet is gonna go right back over to that bush. Now that some of them are gone, I'll be able to open this box up. I don't think there's really any in here. No, there wasn't really much for bees on the inside of the box, and there's no reason for them to be. There's nothing in the box at the moment. There's nothing enticing them to go in there and stay. I'm gonna take those frame rests out because they kept popping out on me earlier. Now, these bees are doing a bunch of flight, fanning their nasing off, trying to call everybody here, but I don't know that they have the queen, so now I need to go back over there and check at the tree. I might as well bring you all with me. Now you can see what's going on here, back over here at this bush, is the bees are still just coming to this area. Now the queen's pheromones might just be on this bush, and that's why they keep coming back, or it might be likely that this is where the queen is. So I'm really going to have to take my time and look through and see what I can find. So just like I was doing over there, I'm really just going to kind of paw through these bees. I need to get them, ow, to cooperate with me better than that. Man, I don't know why I still always react so much to stings. I thought they'd be more gentle. Apparently I'm just gonna have to do the shaky thing. I probably pinched her. It was probably my fault, not hers. Alright, let's do this method. Back to doing this. Now I got every bee out of the tree. We'll look through here real quick, see if I can find the queen. Got some other bugs as well, that's interesting. And again, I am not spotting a queen. So I'm going to bring them back over to the other box and bring them in. You know, this isn't how it's supposed to be on the internet, right? I know when I watch the internet, the people go into the hive and go, oh look, here's the queen, 10 seconds later. And swarm catch, so easy, and I'm not even wearing protective equipment. And, you know, a 10-second Instagram reel later, everything's all hunky-dory. This one? No, they're being stubborn. I wish they weren't. I wish they'd cooperate. I mean, I'm probably the one that's not cooperating. They're trying to do bee things and live their life. And here I am banging on their heads and telling them where they can and can't go. I'm the one that's getting it wrong. So, now that I've shaken most of these bees, again, this is the third time I've done this, I'm just going to sit back and watch for a minute. And that's not exciting for you, so I'm not going to make you watch me watch. But what I am looking for is, are the bees leaving again? Are they climbing into the entrance? Are they trying to bring everybody in? That would signal me that the queen is in here somewhere. And now, the other complication, of course, is looking for the queen in this is that she's probably skinny. They would have held back on some food for her for a little bit in order to make her skinny so she could fly better. So it makes her that much more difficult to see. Again, I'm still hoping that there's a dot on her, but I haven't seen that. So far, I'm not seeing everybody vacating the premises and going back towards the tree. So I'm probably just going to keep the Reflectix on for the moment. Keep an eye on the front of the hive here and see what goes on. There's a lot of fanning, a little bit of drowning down here in a puddle. There you go. A lot of bees going in. So that should be a good sign. Of course, the neighbors over here, not my actual neighbors, the neighboring colony, They're bearded big time out here with the swarm from last week. They're probably wondering what all the heck is going on, and I bet I'm getting some drift right now, so. You know, they're meeting their neighbors, having a good time. I got the queen, right there. I don't care about marking her. What I do care about is getting her into the hive. No, she just flew. She is flying. Stop flying. Oh, God. Okay, she landed again. I need to grab her. She does not have a dot on her. Oh, my God, she keeps flying. Come over here and land again. I need to get her into the hive. All right, I need to get the camera set aside so I can focus on this. The thing about the queen that's flying around like that, stay still, be patient. She comes back. And the good thing is all these bees, they're telling her where to go. It's all pheromone communication. So a little bit of patience, and this should work out okay. But I saw her, I know she exists, she doesn't have a dot, I'm okay with that. But yeah, she was really flighty. I tried to corral her in, and she just took flight twice. Okay, here she is again. I just gotta get her into the entrance and not get her to... Oh, she keeps flying. Oh, I lost her again. Where'd she go? I was watching her specifically fly through the air. This is a fun game. All right. Here's the fourth time. I got her again. And yet again, she flies. Of course, my glasses are fogging up. That doesn't help. It's so humid. I do have a queen clip, now that I think about that. How about that? Now if I can be lucky enough to find her for the 5th time, maybe I'll get her in the clip. What an exercise in frustration, but also really neat. I mean, to see a queen flying around like that and try to catch her. I should have known better. I'm not really good at grabbing the queens. I should have remembered this earlier. I'm almost wondering if she entered now because they're pouring into that entrance. So now, you know what? I'm going to sit here, cross-legged style, and just watch this hive. I'll give you a report here in a minute. So it would have been hard to catch it on camera. I was actively trying to catch her with the queen clip, and she walked herself right into the entrance. So after what, the 5th time spotting her, she walked right on in. I bet the front of this hive is going to look very different in a matter of 30 minutes. Good morning. It is Saturday, June 13th, middle of the day. I think it's about 1 in the afternoon. I hope you had a beautiful day like I am having today. Not only do I get to be out in the bee yard, but I was out riding the motorcycle today with the wife. Stopped in at a beautiful breakfast restaurant. Had a couple of mimosas. Good stuff. Anyway, today, the bee yard. So I just de-energized the electric fence here. This is the day after that very stubborn swarm that was giving me a hard time. So that should hopefully still be in the box, although I kind of just want to leave them alone for a little while. Let that hive get situated. Let the queen get situated. I'll go take a peek at her real quick. Today I'm going to be going into about 8 hives that I did splits and walkaway splits on before my big one where I did 15 splits in a day or so. And I'm gonna make sure that they're queenright, that they're looking good. I'm gonna give all of them feed. I really don't want to peek inside my other splits that I did. When was the date that I did the big split? That was on the 25th, by the looks of it on the tops of my hives here. I'm about a week away from that, where I'll crack them open. And there's enough natural forage where I'm not worried about them starving or anything right now. We're not in a dearth. So I'll wait a week to crack those boxes. I'll crack everything else. I got a whole bunch of medium brood chambers with me. And I'm probably going to check on hive number 1 as well, which was the one that cast to the swarm yesterday. I just want to see how they look inside. Hopefully they don't look barren. Hopefully it looks like they have a good amount of bees in there still. All the humidity took off today, thank God. Yesterday was just brutal. It was one of those days where just being outside, it was murderous. Let me spin the camera around here for a moment. This is yesterday's swarm right here. Got a little bit of entrance activity. So that's good. They're kind of just chilling out. I'm surprised I don't see more bee flight all across the board here. With it being 80 plus degrees today on a gorgeous day, but whatever, I'm not going to hold it against them. Maybe that means most of the foragers are already out and about. I did forget to bring my weed whacker down here. It's not doing too bad. A lot of these hives I did put down fabric in front of them, tar paper rather, but some of them don't. And as you can see, it's getting a little tall in front of these hives, but it's not interrupting their flight at all. So let's go ahead and finish getting the smoker lit, getting the bee jacket on, and getting to work. All right, this is hive number 1. I just want to peek in here out of curiosity real quick. Hopefully my camera doesn't overheat like it did on yesterday. Not that I can blame the camera. It was 95 degrees out with like 1,000,000% humidity. So, let's see if they're doing anything. I can already tell you there's no bees up in this top super. And there's no bees down in this bottom super. Oh man. Well, I'm gonna give them some feed at any rate. Oh no, I'm not, because I got supers on. See, could catch me. All right. So I get a good amount of bees downstairs here, and I am sure they've got plenty of brood and whatnot. I'll check that. I got nothing up top, although they do have a good amount of foundation that they're starting to work with up here, because these were bare foundation, so they've been having to draw everything out. But they're doing a good job from what I can see. As a matter of fact, they got honey going in there, which I'm not surprised they're doing. I'd rather them be putting brood in there right now. Oh, -1 worker. And while I'm here, I got some drones in between. I like to kind of take a peek at the drones and see if I can see any mites. And I got a number of drones here, and I got 0 mites, which is great. Move some bees. Get rid of some of this bird comb and inspect the drones in the meantime. And let me see if I can show you that. It's just kind of always nice to inspect them and see that there's no mites on that whatsoever. If you got drone brood like this that you've torn open and you can see mites all over it, might be a good idea to do an alcohol wash. See what your levels are at. See if you're at the treatment threshold. Come on, look out. All kinds of food resources there and a lot of drones. Wow. I'm having a boy party over here. And I'm not really trying to do a full inspection on this hive. I just want to make sure that I got brood or a queen cell left over from, you know, of course they just swarmed yesterday, so they need to have a new queen in here. They left a lot of drones behind. There's a lot of big mouths to feed in this hive. Come on, let me get rid of some of this bridge comb. All right, good job, girls. Ugh, these damn Baroxan strips. Just when I think I've found them all, I open up a hive and I find more. And see what it does? All the combs just recessed beneath it. Just a big pain. Of course, why not? Why wouldn't it be on this side too? That's how the Baroxan strips work. A lot of bee bread. There we go. Some cap brood cells. I got some swarm cells with royal jelly in it, and 2 capped swarm cells. I'm actually going to leave those there because what I don't see any of is eggs. And those swarm cells might be necessary for a queen, although I do see right here there is an emerged queen cell as well. So if I see a queen, mated or virgin otherwise, then I'll get rid of those swarm cells. But if not, then I won't. And I'll let the bees sort it out. Oh yeah. Oh geez. More swarm cells. That one was emerged. That one's not charged. Or it was torn down. Still get nothing in the way of eggs. And plenty of capped brood, which is good. I know they're not going to be hurting population-wise and workforce-wise. Because that hopefully means they'll get cranking pretty soon here on that medium brood chamber that I gave them. Plenty of capped brood. No eggs. It's all food stores. Look at that. Got some more queen cells as well. Everything that's in here for brood is capped. I haven't seen any eggs. So even though there's that capped queen cell that's right there that's really ripe, I'm going to leave that as well. I know there's some swarm cells in here, but I'm not too worried about this hive casting off another swarm. Hopefully the most viable queen is the one that hatches first, goes out and mates. Man, no wonder why they swarmed. There's another 2 swarm cells on the bottom there. I thought giving them enough space and everything as I had would have been enough the swarm prevention for these girls. So it goes to show what I know. Same thing, look at that, 2 more. Looks like those were torn down. All right. Well, not that I was searching hard for it, but I don't see a queen in that mess. There was at least 3 viable queen cells that are still in this hive. So I'm just going to leave them be, let them do them. and they'll figure out who the new queen is. Get rid of some of this bridge comb. I don't like how it grabs at the comb as I'm entering it in. No reason to tear apart hard work that my bees did. On the face of the comb, I mean, you know. Alright, so there's that. Go ahead and reassemble this whole mess. And then we'll move on to what I really wanted to do today, which was check on those splits. And hopefully add brood chambers, because I want to make sure I'm giving them adequate cavity space to avoid as many swarms as I can. So far this year I've caught 2 swarms. One I don't think was mine. One absolutely was. This one. Alright, so these 4 in this row, these were walkaway splits that I did, I believe, out of the first cell builder that I was going to put together. And I couldn't find the queen at all. And out of tactical frustration, I went ahead and just split it 4 ways. So let's go ahead and check on these ladies. You know, I don't know how much I like these Man Lake feeders. They get it. Look at that. That's a whole ring of dead bees. They seem to get a fair amount of drowning in them. All right, right now I can only see about 3 to 4 frames of bees. Oh, you know what? I didn't make my notes appropriately. I'm looking at a queen cell right here. I'm going to close this back up. But even though I do already have it open. So let's see if that queen cell, I know it would have emerged by now. This is what I said I wasn't going to do today. But it absolutely emerged. You can see up at the top. I was going to use those little red queen cell protectors, but they were way too small for my queen cells. And so I ended up just sticking the JZBZ cups right up into the top there, into the side. And I got larvae in here, so that's a really good sign. See if I can see some eggs, because it is also drone brood. So I want to make sure we're not drone laying here. Let's make sure. Alright, yeah, I got some good larvae down at the very bottom of the cells. All very good color, by the way. Everything's really nice and pearly white. Last year, I noticed, looking through some pictures, I had a couple of hives that had European foul brood. And I didn't notice at the time when I was looking at it. So that's something I kind of really try to pay attention to now. Every time I'm looking at larvae, I want to see that nice pearly white color. Food and bee bread. I should say nectar and bee bread, since that's all food. Oh yeah, there we go. That's what I wanted to see. Eggs at the bottom of the cells with royal jelly in them. See if I can find the queen here real quick. They still get space in this hive as well, so I'm not going to add a medium to them at all yet. But not seeing the queen. Kind of made a mess out of this hive. They put super fat comb of honey don't know if you can see that. That is really thick with honey. Got some kind of wonky comb going on. This is just crazy thick over here. Alright. Well, I saw a little bit of larva. I got some eggs in royal jelly at the bottom of cells. And they're not crazy shotgun pattern or anything. Just one egg in a cell on the ones that I saw. So I'm going to leave them alone, pack them back up, and move up to the other 4. Because I think the ones that I thought were the Walkaway splits were all 8 of these, but it was really just those 4. And normally I go ahead and I put painter's tape on the top of these to keep better notes, and failed to do so on those. Take better notes. Like these ones. Blue painter's tape. WA, WAS, Walkaway split, 516. Now I know what I'm looking for. It's kind of one of the reasons why I do this as well. Obviously, figuring out YouTube has been an interesting game all on its own. But it also acts as my personal journal as well, because if I go back and watch my videos, I know what I was looking at, because I watch them probably more so than other people, actually, for that reason. And it's actually helped me catch a couple of my mistakes that I then get to go back and fix later. Not a lot of bees in this, so that's already not super hopeful. Let's see what's going on. Because what's going to happen is, if they end up being laying worker, because I can see cap cells, so I need to make sure that it's not all drone. If they end up being laying worker, then I just need to do some combining here and just make some double deeps out of these. Because hopefully a couple of them are actually viable. I know when I made them up, I made sure that they all had enough resources in order to make emergency queens and go about their business. Oh, look at that, there's a queen in here somewhere. Good eggs, good larvae. See if we can find her and get her marked. I do have my queen marking implement on me. Looks like they're making a supersedure cell already as well. That's pretty ripe, which is odd because this brood is nice. Very white. Looks healthy. Eggs, really good eggs. I'm really happy with this, actually. I mean, it's small, but they are literally doing everything they're supposed to be doing, except for I don't see the queen, and I don't think I have really any bees on the other hives, or excuse me, the other frames. I'm gonna have to check them. You would think with this small amount of bees, the queen would kind of be very obvious to me. Yeah, the 3 frames aren't even drawn out anyway, so she wasn't on that one. I'll kind of work backwards here. Let's see. And the thing is too, if I don't see her, it's not the end of the world. If I don't mark her, then yeah, it makes it a little bit harder to see her in the future. But I'm seeing everything I need to see. Eggs, royal jelly, larva, capped brood. There is a supersedure cell, but you know what, I'm going to leave that. Even though I've had a queen within the last 3 days, because I have eggs that are standing straight up. But she could be on the walls. She could be hanging around on the bottom board. and I'm not going to hold it against her. She's in there. What I am going to do, though, is feed them, because they're out. And my camera's over there safe. I'm not going to knock my camera over. My solar panel and charging unit seems to be working great. I haven't taken the battery out of its housing yet, and this is working very well. Give them a nice charge of food, because I don't think they have many foragers in this. It's a pretty small amount of bees. But there was a good amount of, like I said, covered brood in that. So once those hatch, that'll be helpful. Hopefully I can get them into a 1.5 hive system this year. Get that all drawn out and backfilled with food before fall comes, before winter comes. If I need to carry them through as a single, I would. It's just not my preference. Want to make sure they have more. Going to continue on down the line here and see if I see anything different in this hive. I see the same amount of bees, about that 3 frames maybe. That's if I'm really being generous, honestly. So let's see what's going on. They got fresh They have fresh comb drawn. Might be hard to see that, but they're working on some. They're also going to need feed. They're empty too. It's a heavy one. They got lots of food on this. And I'm seeing eggs too. So I'll see if I can find the queen again real quick on this. And just like before and all the other times, if I don't, then oh well. Good amount of capped brood. Beautiful larva. Since I don't see the queen on this frame, I'm going to see if I can zoom in for you guys and show you what I'm talking about. So for a little bit of the newer beekeepers out there, if you can see the larva in these cells at all, hopefully this will show that on the camera. See how it's nice and pearly white? Make sure when you're doing your inspections and you're looking around, you're looking for those things. You're not just looking for eggs, you're not just looking for larvae, you're looking for evidence of sac brood and European foul brood, and you're looking for evidence of deformed wing virus while you're in here. You're looking at parasitic mite syndrome. You know, there's a huge litany of things that you have to kind of keep in the back of your mind and kind of, I guess, in the forefront of your mind while you're doing this. Because you can open a hive and take the bees off and move a bunch of things around and walk away and go, was there anything I was supposed to see in there? That's just one of those things that come in time. Oh, here we go. Here's a nice big fat queen. Let's get you in here. See if I can be quick enough here. There you go. No. Come on. Oh, there you go, mama. These things are pretty dirty, so it's hard to show you. But she's in there, walking around. So these things are great, because it really, like I said, I've mentioned it many times in my videos, I'm not the best at picking up the queens. So now I can slowly get her into position. See if I can, this thing is a little bit sticky. It likes to not go all the way up. There we go. So I can get her right into position at the top with her thorax, the crown of her thorax, right there in between the bars. It's padded underneath. And of course, my ever-dreaded, terrible grease markers. And I can get her marked. Get that back down. And now let it dry for a minute. Get her back over to the hive. What I like to do is just kind of let that dry. Get her set aside right over here. I can put this hive all back together without worrying about getting her caught in between anything. Those frame, I didn't put that frame back in order, but they're all undrawn anyway. They're just heavy waxed at the moment. Get them fed. So she's got a great laying pattern. She's probably only been laying for less than a week anyway. So honestly, in 3 weeks, this hive is going to look like a much different hive. Their population will have tripled in about 3 weeks. Get her back down to the bottom. Get the trap door open. And there she is, right back into the hive and right back down into the dark where she likes. Get this one wrapped all up. Because so far, 2 successes, and I can't really condemn them at all for the size of their colonies because they're walkaway splits. And I did it with, I gave them all the equal amount of frames, but each of them really only got 3 or 4 frames of bees and supplies. So for them to make a queen, for her to mate, come back successfully, good stuff. This one actually has the best population out of the 3 so far. They actually had a good amount of entrance activity as well, so I'm not shocked. Go ahead and take one of the easy frames here. That's nothing on them. It's easy to work these when they haven't propolized everything yet. See if I can be successful again real quick with a queen. I had something pretty big and fat flying around me. Wanted to make sure it was a drone and not a queen. Drones and queens sound different when they're flying. Good eggs. This is a newer one. It's all eggs. They haven't hatched into larvae yet. So the queen might be on the back side here. She's not. I do have some beginning stages of larvae right there. Really good full frame of brood in all stages. Most of that will be capped here within the next 4 or 5 days. Basically a fully capped frame on the back. I mean, that's about as good as I could ever want. It's neat to see the bricks. I do actually have eggs and larvae all the way out to the edge. They've actually backfilled inside with some pollen. I'm actually surprised I didn't see the queen on one of the last 2 frames. Unless, no, it's not her. Man, sometimes I get some really big workers and they make me do a double take. Some wonky comb. This is where they have their queen cells as well. If you can see that right on the wonky comb on the bottom. Actually, one of those still has royal jelly in it. Interesting. Really good capped brood again. yeah, again, in about a few weeks, 2 weeks on this one, this population is going to be triple what it is right now too. Oh, I got a queen, and this one actually is my old queen. She's got a yellow dot on her. I don't know if I have a yellow pen on me. You know what? I don't. But technically, she's a blue dot queen, because last year when I dotted her, I didn't have blue on me, and I used yellow. So I'm going to go ahead and get her into this damn thing she's trying really hard not to go into. Nope, stay there. Stay there. Good girl. There you go. Work with me. My blue pen isn't nearly as terrible as my white pen. There we go. Nice blue dot on her. Again, let that dry. Get this all set. Right on the last frame, on the outermost frame, that's where she was. And I know she's old. I'm okay with that. She was a really high-performing queen last year. She just was really hard to find. And I got really frustrated that day and said, you know what? We're going to be walkaway splits. And now look at her. Now she's showing me up. No wonder why this hive is ahead on population and such. They had a laying queen from the get-go. They had a head start. They had a 3-week head start. This sugar syrup is a light mix sugar syrup. It's about 1.5 parts water to 1 part of sugar. This is going to really help them get these combs drawn out as well. Get the dead bees out of this one. We'll get her back in the hive here. Go on. You've upgraded from a yellow dot to an appropriate blue dot. Now she doesn't want to get out. She's like, oh, it is kind of comfy in here. And I mean, hey, it smells like me. There we go. Man, I had to forcefully evict her. Eviction notice served. All right. I don't like how much space I left over there. So, you get the point. I'm going to do the same thing on the 4th one over here. I do actually need to update all my notes on these as well, that they're all queenright. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Everything else that's simply a hive and a half, and the one double that I did a combine on last time I was out here, one of the last times, I'm going to go ahead and check sugar syrup. But other than that, this is kind of just going through the motions. The bees are hopefully filling up honey supers. I could check those, but honestly, I just kind of want to leave them alone. It is going to be whatever it is anyway. Me looking at it isn't going to make them any more honey. And then it's a matter of checking on my splits, time appropriately, checking to make sure that they're queenright. So far, I'm happy. 4 out of 4 right here. Those ones I'll check next week, in addition to checking the other 4, 7, 9, 11. So that's 15 hives I'm going to check for queenright next week. So hopefully everything is good and I'm queenright all across the board. 100% take would be nice. I mean, I'm not banking on that, but it'd be nice, right? So other than that, as always, I hope you enjoyed everything with the ridiculously stubborn swarm. Hopefully so far you all are enjoying the journey that I've been on. I have a good time talking to the camera. I just pretend that it's you guys standing there watching me. So I'm really just talking to you. So hopefully you enjoy the journey. I know I am. One of the things I'm doing this weekend is I'm signing up for even more farmers markets. So that's going to be really neat. And until then, as always, be well, Forge on. Take care.